welcome to another week of All Things Marriage. Did you miss me? I missed you guys. I missed my husband, who's still at work, right? But I actually just got in myself and I hopped on because I wanted to make sure I had this video prepared for you all today. So welcome back to another All Things Marriage. I am your girl, your host, Crystal Robinson. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you were able to join me. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like and share this video, right guys? And then follow us on Facebook as well as on Instagram or TikTok. Yes, we're on TikTok. So yeah, go ahead and jump on those social media platforms for us, guys. I do appreciate you. If you're returning, hey y'all, how y'all doing? I am excited. I am in a place of joy and peace. You know, everything is not perfect. You know, some of the things that has been going on, I had to look and be like, okay, God, you see that? You see what's happening now? Okay, Jesus, Father, Daddy God, what's going on? But in all things, I trust him. So again, welcome guys to another All Things Marriage. I hope you have been being good to yourself this May month of mental health awareness, right? We've been talking about ways to improve our mental health, to check on our mental health. We've been journaling possibly. We've been doing our affirmations. We've been doing deep breathing exercises. We've been doing meditation. Whatever you feel as though you need to be doing to help improve your mental health. That's what we're getting into this month of May, right? And maybe it's taking you guys a few different tries to do different things, right? Everything doesn't work for everyone and everything doesn't work always. I tell my clients that all the time, like, you know, just like if you're taking some new medication, it takes time for it to get into your system. You also have to take time to implement those coping skills and those self-care techniques and activities so that you can start seeing a response, your body, your mind responding to those things, right? We know that eating right and exercising and trying a new hobby or learning a new skill, it takes time. So learning how to improve our mental health takes time. I know sometimes we want to rush the process, right? We want to feel better and we want to feel better now. I know when I have a headache, I'm just like, oh God, you got to let this thing go right now, right? And sometimes, you know, we speak it into existence and we declare that thing and it happens, right? That doesn't mean we never get another headache, right? However, in this moment right now, it goes away. However, sometimes it stays for a while. Right, and that could depend on if we didn't get enough sleep, if we've gotten too much of one type of food. I know for some people who have high blood pressure, you eat too much pork or swine or salt, you start feeling a little woozy in the head, right? So it takes time, okay, guys? So keep journaling, do your journal prompts. If you can't do them every day, that's fine. Do not just say, forget it, I haven't journaled in 3 days. No, go ahead. When you think about it, go ahead and journal. Jot down what you're feeling. Maybe you need to journal over the span of 3 days and say, hey, for the last 3 days, this has been transpiring. For some people, things happen, right? And sometimes it takes a few days to fully process what is happening. How am I feeling? What it is that I need to do? What is it that I need to do in order to improve the situation as well as to improve how I am feeling and how I'm going to handle it, right? Or how I'm going to respond to it. So guys, please take your time and implementing these things and using these tools. Anything and a lot of things, I'm going to say a lot of things can be considered coping skills and self-care techniques and regimens, right? Those are the popular things of journaling and meditation, but vacationing, right? Taking a break, cutting off your cell phone, cutting off your devices. Those are self-care techniques that are coping skills. My husband, he laughs at me because he'll be like, "Why didn't you answer the phone? Like, why didn't you respond?" And I'm like, "My phone is dead." And he's just like, "What do you mean your phone is dead? You've been in the house all day long. Why is your phone dead?" Because I needed a break, or I just was in a mental space that I just didn't want to hear from anybody. And I understand for the older saints, emergencies. We don't have a house phone, right? We all only have our cell phones. But if I did need an emergency, I have my laptop, right? I have a tablet, right? I can still get in contact with somebody. However, I let my phone die, right? I'll have the TV off, and sometimes I'll just have my music playing, and I may be meditating, or I may be just focusing on work, right? Doing papers or reading a book, right? Reading a book is a self-care technique. Find a good book or an educational book. You want to learn a new skill, so you're going to take time to read the book, right? One of the books that I have today, and I'm going to talk about one of the things that Willard F. Harley talks about in his needs and her needs. But yeah, so for you guys that are single looking to get married, or if you're married and you just need something to update you and to kind of motivate you to help improve your relationships, his needs, her needs is an awesome book. It was recommended to us by Bishop Manigault, and it's an awesome tool for you to have in your resource toolbox, okay? And I wanted to talk today about how can we improve our mental health, and how can we lead in excellence within our homes and in our lives, right? In this book, Willard talks about the fair division of a labor dilemma, right? He calls it the fair division of labor. And it's talking about separating those chores and those tasks that, the household task and chores, because sometimes women majorly talked about how they bear the burden of making sure the house is clean, cooking and washing clothes, doing all of those things in the household that sometimes men don't have that luxury, right? They don't really press about it, or they're not concerned in our mind, in the women mind. They're not concerned about it. They don't do it. Taking care of the kids and making sure they're dressed and bathed and all of these good things. Homework is done, stuff like that. And so Willard talks about how we can go about partnering together to divide those chores up, right? And this is a part of self-care and improving your mental health. Why? Because, like I said, a lot of times women feel as though they are the sole individuals who are responsible or care about household being clean and organized and honestly beautified, right? My husband and I joke about guys and how their first apartments and their houses would be decorated, and it would literally be like a chair, a table, not a big coffee table, just like a chair and table that I could put my drink on, my bowl or my plate, and then the remote and my TV doesn't even have to have a TV stand, right? And that's how guys are. That's how some guys. I can say that some other guys, they like to decorate, and it's still simple compared to us women. We like to have things hanging on the wall, and a flower in every corner, right? Hanging from every ceiling if we could, right? On the inside and the outside of the house. So sometimes it can feel as though that burden and that weight is solely on women. And so Willard gives a suggestion, because you don't have to do it. You don't have to do anything that someone suggests to you or give you an opinion about, right? But he suggests the fair division of labor. And what he suggests that couples do or individuals do is to come together and divide up the chores. What chores are more important to the spouse? Which spouse is this chore more important to be done? Who wants the floors mopped the most? Who wants the socks picked up off the floor? If you've been following the channel, I've talked about my husband and his socks, right? Who wants the socks up out of the floor the most? And then you rate your, so you'll put Crystal wants the socks up out the floor, right? The most. So then we rate how much do I want the socks out the floor on a scale from 0 to 5. 5 being the greatest. So, and mine will be 5, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't change, it doesn't adjust, but you go through that on all the chores in the house. So you list all the chores, what things need to be done within the house, as well as with taking care of your children, and then who wants that thing done the most, and how much do they want that thing done. And then you go from there. Then you go to the chores that they're low on the list, but who again wants those things done the most. And this helps with communication. Like, you have to have good communication on that. You have to be fair, and you have to be honest. You have to be considerate, right? Because at the end of the day, you still don't want to come out of this session or this time together in brainstorming and identifying these goals and these responsibilities, and one individual, whether it's male or female, having the most chores. But this is a way as well to see, well, I want that thing done the most. So how fair would it be for me to say, oh, I want the dishes done every night. I want clean dishes every night. So I want you to wash the dishes every night. And he doesn't want those dishes done every night. Like, he'll be okay if he skips a day and then washes the dishes in 2 days, right? And that depends. Yes, guys, I can hear y'all. Now the dishes and that depends on what you eat. Okay, we're not even gonna go into that. Depends on what you eat, and that's your house. Okay, do what you do at your house. Again, this is suggestions, but again, I wanted to talk about this because it is mentally draining and emotionally draining for individuals who feel as though they aren't getting the help and assistance that they need. You come in, you live in, I actually had this conversation with my client today. You live here. Why don't you want the house to look a certain way? Why don't you want to participate in the house looking a certain way? Now, that does not mean, because again, going back to the suggestion, it does not mean that you do every chore. However, there has to be something that you want done in this house that you can put your hands to, other than coming in here, eating, sleeping, pooping, and showering, and then going about your day, right? There has to be, you don't want to step into a dirty shower. I would hope, I, I would hope you don't want to step into a dirty shower. So therefore, why aren't you at least saying, okay, on a scale of 3, I do it, or you birthed these children, right? You had a hand in birthing these children and taking part in the fun actions of birthing these children. So why aren't you now helping to rear them up, as the Bible say, in the way they should go, and taking care of them in that manner? And why does that chore always have to be on this particular person, right? So yeah, and again, great stuff, guys. This is just not even a corner piece. This is a crumb of what Willard has in this book, his needs, her needs. But I thought it was very important to talk about it because we get so boggled down with the day-to-day chores of life. And most women are working. Or I'll say a lot of women are working. So as well as men, but to push all of the house chores and the children responsibilities onto your wife and feel as though you don't need to participate in that because she is a woman is just crazy to me. It's just mind-blowing to me. Because providing financially for those men that think because you work and pay all the bills, you don't have to do anything else. It does not cover all of working, helping provide finances for the bills, taking care of the house, and taking care of the children, and sexually and sexually fulfilling you, as well as supporting you emotionally, supporting you mentally. Providing money does not cover that. It does not cover any of that. I'm not gonna say any of that. Take that back. Scratch that out. It does not cover all of that. Okay? That's not equal. That's not equal. So, or rather, it doesn't compare. So yeah, I really want you guys to kind of take time to see if this is something that will be beneficial for you all. And it goes into more depth. However, that's the part I wanted to talk about. You can, again, purchase the book, again, because it has more nuggets in it than just that crumb. Okay? And I suggest this book. Anybody asks me, do I have a book that is a good resource? I have more. However, this is the book I'm on right now. Okay? So take what I've said, take what Willard has said about divvying out these chores and these responsibilities, because that's what they are. They're responsibilities. And working together, because it's not fair, it's not right, it's not good, it's not healthy, it's not leading in excellence for us to just dump things on individuals or require other individuals or expect other individuals to take care of all of our responsibilities. You hear that? Our responsibilities. If we go into, like me and my husband, we just bought a house. If we go in and say we both want this house, we cannot realistically say, well, we going to buy this house, but I expect my husband to do every chore. I expect my husband to take care of this whole house by himself. And it's not fair. It's not right. And vice versa. We have to then get to common ground, because when I read it, I was just like, oh, that's kind of like Doing the finances, like me and my husband have done in the past, and we do update from time to time our finances. Okay, what are some finances that we have? What are the finances that we have? How are we going to pay them? Who's going to pay what? How much it got to get paid? When they have to be paid? Is there anything that can be paid later? Is there anything that can be paid, or has to be paid like right now? What are some things that we need to get rid of? Because honestly, there are some responsibilities or chores that we may not necessarily need. Right? Am I right? I'm not gonna say responsibilities, because responsibilities are responsibilities, but there are some things that we have created that we may not necessarily need. Right? Right? Like, we don't have a pool, but we want a pool. We want to put in a pool, and I know with having a pool, there's responsibilities that come along with that pool. If I'm not prepared to clean the pool, make sure the pool is updated, whatever updates it needs to be, having somebody, paying somebody to come out here and clean it, learning how to clean. If I'm not that responsible, making sure when children are over, or people who can't swim, I'm watching and being mindful. If I'm not prepared to do those things, then I don't need to get a pool right now. That's just simple. That it could be the same with children. If love the children, want children, will have children. But if you're an individual who, I don't want to take care of a child right now, or I don't want to do all the sacrificing that it takes to rear a child, then possibly need to make sure you're doing or not doing things that will lead to having children. That's just honest. That's just being honest. However, not even a however. So we have to start taking that time, sitting down with our partners, and having those deep conversations. And we've said it before, having those deep conversations, those meaningful conversations about what responsibilities that we have, that we both can work together and come to a common ground about who's doing what. Why do you, not even why, but who's doing what, who wants to do it the most, who will get it done, and divvying those out. Because at the end of the day, you want your partner to be prepared for you, to be intimate with you, and not necessarily sexually, but to be intimate with you, to have that quality time with you, as well as that sexual time with you. And they're not necessarily in the mood. I'm not gonna say they can't do that, but they're not necessarily in the mood if they've had to work from sunup to nightfall to midnight. You know what I'm saying? You get me? You feel me? Y'all get me? Do you feel me? But yeah, so I hope you guys are being good. Go ahead and pick up a book. You don't have to pick up this book, but that's a good book to pick up. And read through, take some quality time to work on your mental health, and see what Willard has to offer you, for the betterment of yourself as well as your relationships. It's Mental Health Awareness Month, guys. We are just like a week, I want to say, away from June, but we want to make sure that we're practicing these self-care and these coping skills every day or every month, not just in the month of May. So I really hope you guys are being good to you. You're finding those things that kind of help settle you, kind of help keep you focused and keep you sane, okay? But I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. And I hope you've had a wonderful time listening to me talk about chores. But until next time, guys, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.